Multiverse is a concept about which we know frighteningly little.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Marvel Mondays. Man, we got quite an episode today. I mean, we were already having something which I felt like was going to be a really good episode. And then we got Marvel just couldn't let it be. And we got two, fresh out of the oven news today. And I just can't wait to get everyone updated on them. But let me go ahead and bring the panel in. So right now we got a little bit of a light panel. I do know Mr. Oyman, my co-host, is going to be coming in momentarily. He's was out of town and now he's driving back home like Ghost Rider, like a bat out of hell to try to make it just for you guys, the audience. So hopefully he can make it in on time and doesn't run into traffic that makes it last the rest of the episode. But expect him to join in about probably 15-20 minutes. But until then, the rest of the panel we have right now, we do have the dynamic duo coming back with us today. We have Miss Cap. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's Monday.
Another glorious Monday. But yeah, of course. And we also have, like I said, the second part of the dynamic duo. We have JT. What's going on, my brother?
Dude, I'm doing well. I had a great weekend, and I'm in a good place right now to do Marvel Mondays. The last couple of weeks has been pretty bad in terms of my voice of concerns, but now I'm in a cool place, so you will have the normal JT tonight, hopefully.
Normal.
Oh, I don't even know what normal JT is anymore, man. It just every time it starts off normal and then
Things just got out of hand.
yeah, things get out of hand really fast. I mean, you went nuclear on us last week, like 0 to 100. You just kept it in towards the end of the episode and bam, just went off. But have any of y'all seen anything Marvel related, read anything, listened to anything that you guys want to kind of let the audience in on and maybe have them check it out if before we get all the news and stuff started?
Nothing this week. No.
What about you,
No,
JT? No Marvel projects?
no,
I
not
mean,
exactly.
other than the She-Hulk episode 7, I hope.
Oh,
Yes, we did watch She-Hulk episode 7 while we were eating dinner,
Right.
and
today.
Okay. Hey, you guys at least watch it. I'm still on no go on that one.
You and miss nothing.
It sounds about the trend on that one, but I hope they at least got some of the ball rolling. Me personally, I also didn't even get a chance to tune into my episode of Wastelanders. We got a little bit busy at my job today, So unfortunately, I didn't get to do that. I will still say, like last week, I would recommend that series if anyone just wants something to listen to. Other than that, I do want to start like this week, almost like a comic book club around here, man. Like I want us like this week, let's read this story and kind of do that as our opening. Just because mainly based on one of the news sources that we got today, I think it's probably going to be pretty soon to start reading slowly the Jonathan Hickman run of the Marvel Universe. That's like Avengers, New Avengers, Infinity, Secret Wars, everything like that. Since there's so much to read on that end, just to gear up for Secret Wars, which we got a juicy little detail coming up. But before we get to the actual news, I do want to remind everyone that this week, on October 7th, Werewolf by Night will be arriving onto your screens in as long as you're a Disney Plus member. So I look forward to watching that. I know there was a featurette that came out this past weekend where they have Michael Giacchino and some of the cast kind of give their opinions, as well as have Feige mention that this sets the stage for something that will become very big going forward in the MCU.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's just because it's going to really open up the monster horror elements of the MCU, which we only got a tease of here and there, like in Doctor Strange 2. And so I look forward to that. I did also read that a tweet from Michael Giacchino regarding that there is a lot of gore, quote unquote. Let's hope they actually kept it and didn't cut it in the cutting room, but he said that he just kept asking for fake blood and nobody stopped him. They just kept providing it, so he's like, I'm gonna use everything they give me. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and look who we got here. Hey, we got another panel member coming back with us. Of course, is the fantastic Johnny Joestar. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me again. Sorry I'm a bit late. I was not gonna lie, I was watching Hocus Pocus 2. And like I was like, it's not as bad as I thought. And then like I was like, shit, I'm already like 5 minutes late. And I was like, oh no. So I plug in myself real quick. Yeah.
Hey, but
man.
you're here.
I'm here.
Dang it, wrong button again. I always hit that. There you go.
There.
But no, all you missed really is the introduction of the dynamic duo over here. JT
Okay.
promised us that he's a little bit more zen this week, so hopefully he keeps true to that, and we don't get another outburst, which causes the rest of the remaining little audience we have to leave as well. But
Oh man.
in other words, other than Hocus Pocus 2, anything Marvel related that you would recommend to the audience that you might have watched over the weekend?
Silver Surfer. I
Oh,
mean,
the
that was
animated?
actually like, yeah, the animated series from like old school times. So what was that, like 90s? No, that was even before that, wasn't it?
I think it was either late
I-
80s or like 91 or so. Because it
Oh
does
no,
fall...
I'm sorry. It's 1998.
Oh, really? It was that late in the game. I thought it had like
Yes,
earlier
yeah.
style animation, like the 92 Spider-Man and such like that.
Yeah, that's what I thought though too. But well, I'm not gonna lie. I was actually, like I said, I was watching Hocus Pocus, and it's actually the next thing on my list. And I was like, yeah, I was watching Silver Surfer because I just wanted to see what the hell that was about. So definitely really cool because you get to see a little bit more about that if you actually like kind of like the galactic galaxy kind of a thing. So definitely it's something to look into. I will say, like, it's not the same looking at these things at this time because like they're so old school that you might kind of see it as a little bit boring because it's not as good as it like, you know, the dramatic effects and all that stuff. Like it's not as how it used to be or how it is now. So I give you warning, people. Like, definitely look at it if you want to, but I mean, it takes a minute to just kind of get used to it. Because if you're not into like '90s cartoons, like I wouldn't really recommend it.
Yeah, basically, if you don't have the nostalgia goggles because you weren't from that era, it probably won't catch your attention.
Yeah, yeah, but it's still pretty cool because you do get to see a lot of different people. I mean, you even actually get to meet like Silver Surfer. You know, gets to meet Adam Warlock at some point. So, I mean, it's a bunch of stuff. So, I mean, he even goes through like the what is it, that big old the Watcher. So you get to know a little bit about that too. So, like I said, it's definitely something if you're really into that whole part where it's kind of like outside the X-Men or even just Earth itself. This is like exploring the outside universe. So, but it's actually definitely pretty cool though. I mean, I'm really into it.
Yeah,
I
audience.
really enjoyed it.
Actually, I take
But-
it back. Even if you didn't grow up in the 90s, watch it anyways because we said so. There you
Yeah,
go.
fuck
Yeah.
it.
Said so.
But I will
do it.
I will say it's only like 13 episodes, which was such a big bummer. It didn't really make it that far. So, yeah. So at least, you know, if you got some time, they're only like, 20 minutes the most, maybe because it was only a 30-minute show, you'd probably be only wasting like maybe, I don't know, like 18 minutes worth of like show, because of
Yeah.
the credits and everything. So, yeah. But anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
All right.
Your
Well,
thing.
that's a good
There we go.
recommendation. But so we did get some breaking news. Before we get to the like rumor mill, which is basically guaranteed because it was Deadline reporting it. But the warning sign is the fact that the new Black Panther: Wakanda Forever official story trailer dropped today. Earlier today, like in the morning time. And they did. It is a trailer that has the tickets now on sale. So hopefully, if you wanted to watch that in IMAX, you might still be able to get tickets. Probably not at that point, but you could hopefully get something for the weekend for a normal type of showing. I most likely am probably not gonna get to go opening like preview night on Thursday,
Yeah.
unless I could find some tickets. But I'll probably go matinee on Friday. Like I'll ask for the day off, or I think I have that day off anyways. But so that trailer came out.
Committed.
It looked pretty good. Honestly, I will say I think the first trailer that they had right when Comic-Con was going on personally impacted me a little more. I thought that one sold me on the movie a bit more than this one. But what this one did show was really nice visuals and some what would probably end up being really cool action sequences, similar to like the first movie when he went where was it, to Korea, was it, that they had that whole like car chase sequence and
Yeah.
the casino.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was. Yeah.
Yes, I think it looked like it had some of that and of course the fantasy stuff. But how do you guys feel about it? Did it win you over more? Did it just kind of not do it for you as much as you thought it would, this trailer? Or where were you at? Let's start with you, JT.
I kind of feel like the first trailer did it for me. I think this trailer showed a little bit too much, especially with Ironheart. I want that to be surprising. Of course, we all know,
Yeah.
especially in the comic books,
That
series-
surprised me because they
Yeah, I
done
mean, like the series is actually the new Black Panther, which we already knew, but it'd be kind of like a breath of fresh air when we actually like confirms it. But I think this kind of trailer shows it, and also we also see the death of Chadwick Boseman with the helmet, so it's kind of official now within the MCU. But I kind of feel like this trailer showed a little too much. But I think the first trailer to me
Oh man.
had like a little bit of like, okay, we don't know where this is going, who's this new villain, sort of thing. But this kind of trailer gave the overall story. Again, like I said, I think it showed a little bit too much, but I am looking forward to seeing this in theaters.
Okay. And what about you, Miss Cap? Like, what did you think of like let's say the overall costumes? Like, we did get a tiny, if you pause it at the right moment, a glimpse at Ironheart. We get the new Black Panther suit, and of course, Namor. We get a little bit more of a good look of him actually doing stuff. His full costume, which is just like an underwear and little ankle wings. So how do you feel like going in based on these two trailers that we've gotten on Namor being the antagonist and all these costumes that we're getting?
Actually, you know what? I'm kind of a bit more excited for it now that I got a little bit more of the storyline they're going for. A little bit in there with JT was saying they may have showed a little too much, but I think with what they showed us, it's gonna be really cool. I think also just in general, I just believe like them confirming, because there was a lot of rumors like, oh, are we gonna see Black Panther? Is he gonna, are they gonna write him off? Are they gonna kill him off? And I think this trailer kind of gives us a like where they're going with this. This is a tribute to him, but also, a new era coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm actually kind of curious how they're going to write him off. Like we see, like a funeral for him and such, but I wonder how they wrote him off.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
that's a
curious
big
about.
question that I have too. I'm like, how are they gonna handle that exactly? And
Yeah.
especially in canon, because he technically was only Black Panther for like 2 years, I want to say,
Wow.
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Civil War
And
to
not counting the blimp, yeah.
yeah, because he got blipped himself, so he wasn't
Blimped
even
anyway, so yeah.
yeah, so he wasn't even in power around that time.
Yeah.
But it looked like the co-host of Marvel Mondays just slipped in through the back door. Let's go ahead and welcome him in. How you doing, Mr. Oyman?
Doing all right. I was listening to the show so far and just got a chance to join on. Can you all hear me all right?
Yeah, we could hear
Yeah.
you
They're good.
fine and clear, man. So you're
Gotcha.
basically caught up
So you
to
guys
where
were
we're
talking
at
about
right now.
the Black Panther trailer, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So how do you feel about Namor on this one? Now that we've gotten a little bit more of a glimpse on him, overall design and stuff. What's your take on it, Mr. Oyman?
I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. It's a little bit different from how you would expect Namor to be, but not really. They definitely kept his key features, his pointy ears and his winged feet. And they kept those. They didn't change anything there. Looks like they're gonna have the his grandfather, I think, the Tuma, the Ocean Master guy. He's been around for forever. He even was in the old 60s Fantastic Four movie, and they had like a really old Namor show back in the 50s of just like flying around fighting octopuses and stuff. But no, it's kind of cool to see him in the big screen. I've got my tickets booked for opening night. If anyone wants to go opening night and can come, I'll get more. Just let me know.
Man, it sounds like you.
But yeah,
you
looks
not
good.
only drove like Ghost Rider up here. Looks like you were running like Quicksilver up here too. But
yeah, I'm trying to catch my breath with some chocolate milk.
there you go. Chalky milk will make everything better, man.
Chalky milky. Yep, it does.
What about you, Mr. Joe Star? You looking forward to this movie, or you're? Hey, hold on,
Okay,
my
so
cat's trying to
I'll be
get my
very
controller.
honest with you guys. Like, I didn't even watch the trailer because, again, it's one of those situations where I just don't want to see something like that where you've already threw like a bunch of spoilers for me. So
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, okay, well, fuck
It's a
it.
pretty spoilery trailer.
It is.
And that's what I heard, that there
Well-
were a couple, and I only saw like glimpses of it, and I was just like, oh, new trailer. And then I saw like Neymar like end up like flying around, and I was just like, nope.
Yeah, well, I
Like-
feel like it's quote unquote spoilers because it's stuff that we were probably trying to convince ourselves like, oh, this is not it, but it's stuff that we kind of already
Mhm.
kind of like
Oh.
easily put two and two together.
There
It's the most
like
logical
Josh and-
outcome.
nothing in this trailer that was
And-
actually spoilered.
Yeah, nothing groundbreaking, nothing, but yeah, I could
Like,
see.
we knew everything that was going to be in this.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's fine. Like, we have all of our, our thoughts and, our doubts from it. But the good thing is, it's like, at least with trailers, like, you kind of get a little bit of sense of, like, relief because if you do see certain things. But then again, though, like, it's just like, how they kind of fucked us over with what was that, Endgame, where you end up seeing the Incredible Hulk, and then out of the blue, like they just don't put him in. So
Oh, that
that's
was
another
Infinity
thing.
War.
Oh yeah,
Oh, the
Infinity
Infinity
War.
War, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Where like they showed the Hulk, and like I was just like, they're gonna do it again. They're gonna all be like side by side, and it's gonna be so cool. But then like he's not even there, and I was just like, what kind of bullshit is this? Like, come back, and they never brought back the Hulk. So, but either way though, like again, it going back to the movie itself, I'm actually quite excited for it. Definitely not in the sense of like watching it opening night, or right off the bat, because like I still have to get paid for one thing. I was just like, for those who have parents that buy them stuff, that's cool, but I have to make sure I get paid first, and then I can go see whatever the hell I want. But I will say though, respects to those people who actually did the storyline well. I hope it actually comes out to be like a good transition into this new person, which is a sister in the storyline. So I hope they do her justice, because like I mean, I will say, and we've said it before, and you guys agreed with me that technically, like with Black Panther, they fucking lowballed him so much, and it was shitty, because like we wanted to see more of him, and yeah, we did get one movie from him, but it was still a low ball. It was good, but it wasn't like fucking great. You
Yeah, it
know what
was
I'm
all
saying?
right. I would
Yeah.
put it about on the same level as like the Ant-Man movies for me, where I know they're not like the greatest things ever, but like they were enjoyable. They were fun. They were
Yeah,
a good
yeah,
time.
yeah, 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 and it was cool. Like, I mean, you got to see some other good actors play their parts, and like it was really nice. It was well put, but like I still said, like it's still a little bit of a low ball. I feel like they underplayed him a little too
Yeah.
much.
Well,
Now I hope.
like you mentioned
Huh?
earlier, I'm really hoping that they do the transition justice, because that's the only part that really kind of worries me about
Yeah.
this movie, because
Mhm.
it's not so much that they were planning for it, it's
Yeah.
just circumstances of real life got in the way, so now they had
Oh
to
yeah. Oh
they
yeah.
had to like
It's not on them.
basically,
It's not on them.
yeah, it's not on them, so they're gonna try to do the most with what they got, and I just
Yeah.
hope they're able to pull it off with such short notice, um because of the tragedy.
Yeah. And it's tough. I mean, it brings back kind of like those memories. I know it's a little bit off topic, but kind of like Spartacus. I mean, they did. If you guys ever seen that show, it was a wonderful show. The actor who played Spartacus was like good for that season, and then he passed away.
Yeah, I
And then
remember
they got somebody else, and he was good. I'm not saying he was like the worst in the world or anything like that, but definitely you do feel that hit, because it doesn't feel the same. You still end up seeing somebody else, and that guy was like in the third season, but then it just didn't feel right. Like it's just kind of like it was a bit off. But I hope that the way that they do this is like, they give them like a good send off. Hopefully they actually do. And I agree with Cap that like they do show a little bit more of maybe like a backstory on how maybe he passed away, like in the storyline. I know that might be a little bit too much to ask, because I mean, it's a bit of a touchy subject, because this person actually passed away in real life, and you don't want to like stir anybody's buttons and be like, oh, he died as a hero, because it still sucks, because he
Mhm.
really did pass away. But as long as like, I mean, they actually do it well, and they don't really cut it short. I mean, it would be kind of nice to idolize him, to just be like, yeah, he went out with a blaze of glory, because he did. He really did. He was fighting, what was it, cancer? He was fighting cancer the best he could, and like, I mean, unfortunately, it overcame, and it took him over, and we lost him.
Yeah,
But you know what though,
man,
those but
mad
but those
respect
people
though.
are not.
He
Huh?
was able to do a bunch of movies in that
So many
short time
movies
span
during
Oh,
without
yeah.
like anyone knowing
yeah.
and noticing, because he was still putting in 100% in those last few movies he did, like Infinity War, Endgame. What was that other one that was, I think, on HBO? Where he
Was
was.
it Thurgood Marshall? Is it Marshall? Or was the other?
I
There's
think
also
that-
another one, I believe.
well, his very last role, but he did like 3 or
Yeah.
4 movies.
It was
within
Ma
the-
Rainey's Black Bottom.
There you go.
There we go,
There you
that's
go.
it.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of the name, but what's it called? Yeah, he
Really
did
good
all of
memory.
that and still gave his 100%, and you wouldn't even
Yeah.
know that he was going through what he was going through. So I do
Yeah.
just hope that they do it justice, and it doesn't come off cheesy. It comes off, like you said, a good way to honor the actor.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, like,
The actor
Uh,
and the character too.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, like, we will always remember him as the Black Panther. And to be quite honest, it's kind of like even Captain America. Like, he can't really be replaced.
Yeah.
Like, they did such a
Yeah.
great job. Like, it's not something that you could just be like, hey, let's just throw in like Seth
A new-
Rogen to be
new
Captain
Predator.
America. You know what I'm saying?
I
You
would
can't
walk
just,
out.
like, throw.
I would walk out. MC
You'd
would be dead to
me. Avengers assemble. But definitely, like I said, I do have some hopes for this movie. I really do hope I get to see it pretty soon. I'm a little bit tight on money, but as far as it go, like I really want to talk about it. So I hope I get to see it pretty soon.
Yeah, so it's November
It's
11th,
still a month
right?
away. So
Yeah.
Number
Yeah.
11. Yeah, November
November
11th.
11th. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, I would suggest kind of see if you can
11,
still
11.
find a showing that you want for that weekend, because you definitely don't want to tune in the following Monday after it comes out if you want to avoid spoilers, because that's the main thing we're going to be talking about that week. But moving
Yeah.
on. So for the other breaking news that came in today, this was from Deadline, one of the places that I do usually whatever they say ends up coming. But we do have the potential writer for Avengers Secret Wars, and it is Michael Waldron, reported by Justin Kroll from Deadline. It says that following the success of Loki and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Michael Waldron looks to be in line for another high-profile Marvel property, and it is set to be Avengers Secret Wars. So we have the director for Kang Dynasty, basically, and the writer, which I think the writer for Kang Dynasty was the one for Ant-Man and the Wasp, right? Quantumania. It's the same
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this one is a guy who, of course, wrote Loki Season 1 and Doctor Strange. So I'll ask you, Mr. Oyman, first. How do you feel about this? Like, based on those 2 projects that he's done for the MCU, do you think that seems like a pretty, like, duh type of choice? Or do you think, like, oh, maybe they should have sat on it a little bit more and other potential
No,
candidates?
they need to get this thing written pretty soon, because we're gonna go through so many drafts. So this guy, Michael Waldron, first of all, he only wrote a few episodes of Loki, mainly the beginning and end of it, which is why the start and end of that show was so strong. But he kind of oversaw the whole creative process of the script for Loki, and then for Multiverse of Madness, he sort of came in and just had to rewrite it once Scott Derrickson left and Sam Raimi was brought on. So he kind of wrote it in a way that Sam Raimi, Kevin Feige just kind of let Raimi make the movie he wanted to make. So not everyone likes Multiverse of Madness. I love it, of course, but the Secret Wars movie is gonna have some Ryan Coogler working on it, some Matt Shackman working on it, some Dustin Day, whatever his name is. They're all gonna be kind of working with Michael Waldron and making sure they're all setting up, leading up to Secret Wars pretty well. But I mean, he's the guy who Marvel picked to do the multiverse stuff, and Secret Wars is going to be most likely Battle World or some sort of adaptation of it. And I'm
Yeah.
excited. I think
So
he's the right guy for the
definitely,
job. A lot of people are freaking out about it, of course, online. A lot of people are just like, "Oh no, I hated Loki and I hated Doctor Strange too."
well, yeah, but
I
it
was like, "Well,
Really?
I feel like they must have a sense of confidence of him being able to handle the multiverse stuff. Because even if you didn't like Doctor Strange, mainly most people complain is the whole Wanda situation. but overall it was written pretty well in my opinion, because it
Yeah.
told the just enough. I do say there wasn't enough multiverse stuff, but it got us some
It was a
multiverse
Doctor
stuff.
Strange movie.
It got us Doctor
People are
Strange.
like, "Oh, Doctor Strange's character was so weak in that movie. It wasn't even about him." I was like, "Really? He was."
No,
in
well, that's what I'm
the
saying.
most of the movie.
He basically had three characters or three storylines going on: the Doctor Strange storyline, the multiverse storyline, and the Wanda storyline. And I feel like with less than 2 hours of runtime, he actually juggled that story pretty well. It felt like it had a beginning, middle, and end, and a little bit room for the sequels and such like that. So I feel pretty confident with this guy on the thing. Anyone else want to chime in and say what they potentially think?
Yeah, I think for me, he's a great writer because I enjoy Loki. I think behind WandaVision, Loki, I think is one of the strongest MCU shows because of the character development of Loki, and also she. I mean, like, you know, like the other Loki kind of developed chemistry and how they kind of got together at the end and
That's
the way
annoying.
they
Okay, I'm back.
develop chemistry. Art is really well written, and with Multiverse of Madness, I mean, like Texas Moore said, it spent 2 hours. They juggle everything, and it kind of did
He did a
Wanda.
good job at it.
Yeah, they did, and so I'm looking forward to it. But just like Mr. Oyman said, they need to get the ball rolling because 2025 is in 3 years, and you know how Marvel is, they're quick, and so he has to write the draft. They have to do production maybe next year because like Marvel's timeline is so quickly approaching. So we'll have to.
Hopefully Feige lets all the like directors and screenwriters of the other movies leading into it kind of like working closely with Waldron to see what's going to become what, and so everything actually has like a cohesive flow to it, because that's really what Marvel's needing right now. Phase 4 hasn't been, it's been kind of dropping off for a lot of people just because it doesn't have a clear focus quite yet. I think we'll definitely get there, starting with Wakanda Forever actually, and then people kind of be like, oh, okay, here we go.
It's a building phase, but even then it just feels like it's not, it's just uncohesive because it's all over the place, because I think they're literally trying to do like the comic relief.
They're throwing spaghetti to the wall.
Yeah, well, like they're like, okay, we need the multiverse aspect, we need the street level, we need this and that and this and that and the supernatural aspect, but I don't feel like they're just throwing characters out there instead of actually taking the time to do it. But
reason for introducing these characters.
Yeah, but at the same time, with where they want to be by 2025, I get the point of why it's so all over the place, because they need to get that, like you said, Mr. Wyman, they need to get that ball rolling, because they're on a very tight schedule. But
very tight schedule.
But yeah, no, I just feel. I feel like he's the right guy. I feel like we're in for a treat, like you guys said, probably starting after Wakanda Forever. Once we get into that Phase 5, we're gonna get a bigger idea of where we're going and how the rest of the MCU is gonna play up until then. But moving on,
where do we go now?
The other news that we got over the weekend that I actually did manage to put on the bulletin board because it wasn't dropped today. Was Armor Wars. It got upgraded to a theatrical release instead of being a mid Disney Plus series. So how do you...
this definitely upped my excitement for that.
So how do you feel about it, Miss Cap? Because I know I've gotten through group chat stuff, opinions from Mr. Oyman and such, and I'll definitely get his opinion on here. But I want to start off with you, since I don't know where you stand on this. Does this get you more excited for it, or is it still something that you might have potentially not cared about?
No, it's something I am cared about. I think after watching the Secret Wars trailer, and how that's going to be a show, I want to know how they're going to reflect what's happened, has it been part 2? How are they going to fit what's happening in the show into a... I think it's going to be really interesting for finally a show to kind of fit into a movie in a while. So you have to watch a show to figure out a movie, you know what I mean? Instead of saying two different shows that work together. And I'm curious how they're going to portray that type of deal. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever seen like where where there's a show and then there's a movie aspect that's right after it that goes along with it. You know, that's like a part two. And I'm really interested in how they're going to work that out.
Yeah. Well,
I guess it depends where they put it.
yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say, because I know I've talked to this with Mr. Oyman, and it kind of goes with the what's it called, the next topic we're gonna do as well. But I'll get into that one a little bit later. But I actually thought before they announced it that maybe Blade gets potentially downgraded to a Disney Plus show, and soon after I was thinking that, this Armor Wars news comes out. So since they technically went radio silence and just dropped this out of nowhere, even the official, it's not like Deadline, Hollywood Reporter, where you know it's going to happen eventually. No, Marvel themselves came out and said it as well that same day. Do you think that this is getting pushed up and to potentially Blade's 2023 slot? Because it doesn't sound like Blade's all the way there, and this is described by Marvel during either, I think it was D23. They said that this is going to have be from the fallout of Secret Invasion, so maybe they want to keep these two projects within the same calendar year.
Well, that's a good idea.
So do you guys think that might be a possibility? Maybe not even that Blade becomes a Disney Plus show, but that Armor Wars takes its, what was it, November or October
2023. Yeah,
2023
November
time
23.
slot. What's your opinion, JT?
Yeah, I think so, because I think Marvel is pretty particular in its projects, except for COVID, when WandaVision was supposed to be right after or right before Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness. When a lot of people saw that movie, they're like, "Why is Wanda evil?" Oh, right, because of the book that happened in the show and how she turned, that sort of thing. I think that they have to do it that way because Secret Invasion is one of the shows where it's going to have a lot of meaning within the MCU, especially in Phase 5 and beyond, especially with the Skrulls and how Rhodey kind of takes up that mentor of the Iron Man to Ironheart in Wakanda Forever. So I think they have to link these movie and show as closely as possible, because if not, we're going to get lost in all the details of the show, which kind of enhances all those details within the movie. So they have to put it close together, in my opinion. They have to make it make sense.
Okay. And how do you feel, Mr. Oyman?
Well, I think I think that Armor Wars, they probably were like, oh yeah, let's just make this a show. And then when they saw, well, if we're going to spend this much on like CGI and everything and production value in general, and maybe they didn't have a story that needed to be stretched out to 6 or 8 episodes, and they're like, you know what, scrap it, let's just turn this into a movie, condense the budget, condense the amount of like hours spent making the movie. And even though it will have like a slightly higher budget than the show would have, at least now they'll probably be making a bigger profit from it if they can kind of sell it as a important lead-in to Secret Wars. Like everyone will go see Armor Wars now, because you watch Secret Invasion, you watch Armor Wars, and then you see Secret Wars. Everyone will know that's an important one. You know what I mean? So yeah, we'll see how it turns out. Blade, they did not have a script in mind for that movie. They just, Mahershala Ali was like, yeah, I'd love to do Blade. And they're like, cool. We got Mahershala Ali. All right, let's get that Blade.
I always
movie
thought
going.
that it
And then
was.
He's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I always thought that it got announced too early, and they didn't really I felt like it was just
They didn't have a
something.
plan for it at all.
Yeah,
They
that
were
was
just
something that they
it was
were
just
like,
timing. He
cool.
was like, oh, I'd love to do Blade.
But before we get to
And they're like,
Blade,
okay.
I want to throw like a fucking just shot in the dark of Armor Wars potentially. I think maybe it gets an upgrade to a movie. Maybe because of and again, this is based on speculation and just more wishful thinking, if anything. Do you guys think it's potential that this connects a lot to like Wakanda Forever and of course Secret Invasion?
Ironheart.
Well, yeah, with like Ironheart and stuff like that, but because I feel like the villain of this movie, even if he's not in it the whole time, I'm kind of hoping that it's Doom coming, that it's Doctor Doom, and he's got like his team of scientists, and Justin Hammer's gonna be like one of them.
Bring back
And
Justin Hammer.
yeah, and like the guy pulling the strings for some of the stuff in Wakanda Forever, potentially some of the stuff in Secret Invasion, manipulating maybe the scrolls and stuff like that, and leading directly into Armor Wars. I think like Doctor Doom wants to get all this technology and have these people fight amongst each other so that he could, in the background, get himself ready to kind of let them take care of themselves, and then he comes in and gets rid of both. And I don't know, I feel like he's going to want that tech. He's done it before in the comics with Superior Iron Man. Is that something that sounds kind of cool to y'all, or do you guys think like, man, just let the MCU writers take care of that?
Do it. Mike, I was gonna ask, who do you think is gonna be the main character of Armor Wars? Do you think it's gonna be Rhodey?
Yeah, I think so. Like he's gonna be I mean, it was his best friend whose tech is.
It's kind of like how Sam is getting the Captain America 4 movie, then this way he's sort of getting the Iron Man 4 movie for Rhodey.
Yeah, and I mean it's something super personal to him. I mean, if it is, let's say, like Doom trying to get this technology, this is technology that he knows should be in the right hands, that was created by his friends. So if somebody manipulates and does something terrible with his best friend's technology, it's really going to take a toll on him, type of deal. So I do think it's going to be focused around him. The only other thing, and maybe Mr. Johnny Joestar, do you see this as a possibility? Maybe it just got an upgrade from a Disney Plus show to a movie, because Don Cheadle has one hell of an agent. Which one do you think is more plausible, Mr. Joestar? Better story, or just one heck of an agent?
Maybe both.
Both, I would say. Both. I will say, like, the whole concept of actually putting all these together is going to be a bit of a tricky thing, especially for things that are just, hopefully, crossing your fingers that nothing goes wrong. We don't have like another like COVID outbreak or anything like that in the future that delays anything even more than it already is. Because yeah, exactly. But I mean, like, it just kind of goes to the whole thing about even like just Blade, because like, I mean, they could easily scrap something like really easily or make it really shitty, because as you've seen the shows recently, like they've kind of just rushed into not knowing what to actually do, and then it turns out to be like a big fucking flop. I mean, Mrs. Marvel was okay, but literally you saw how rushed things were. I can hope that they can actually do again another justice for this to actually come out on top, but one of the things is like, I mean, turning it into a show and turning it into a movie, two big different things. Hopefully, by turning it into a movie, they will actually do a little bit of a better thing for it versus a show, especially from what we've seen, how they treat shows. It's not the best thing to actually come up. Yeah. So another thing that I will say though, like, I mean, even with like Blade, like it's such a big letdown, because that was one of the biggest ones that I was actually looking forward to, because I do like that. And I mean, like, here's the thing, like they're bringing back like Daredevil and stuff like that, but the thing is, it's like, I mean, I still want that Punisher, Daredevil, Ghost Rider, and freaking Blade,
Midnight Suns.
Yeah, like to literally all join together, and like that's the thing that like we want, but we're not gonna really get. So the fact that yeah, but I mean that's gonna be like years from now. We're gonna be like super old. Well, at least you guys would be a little bit younger, but I will be even older.
We'll be in the same retirement home.
Yeah,
the same retirement home.
They'll be like, "Oh my god, they finally came out with Blade! Check it out!"
Don't worry,
my teeth fell out.
We'll have the retirement home plan like one of those like little bus trips to take us over to the theater. we'll be sure to take our life alerts for if we'll be sure to take our life alerts with us just in case things get too heated and we need to hit that button. Too much excitement, man. But
I will say, like, it is a good thing that they're actually doing it into a movie, because at least then they would make sure that they would actually put a little bit more effort into it, because it is such a short amount of time. I mean, these movies are what, like maybe 2.5 hours if I'm not mistaken.
Two to 2.5.
And they don't have to stretch
Yeah.
They've been
that
2 hours,
budget
though.
an extra 2.5 hours worth of
Well, that's what I'm
content.
saying. They probably were like, oh, let's make it a show because, whatever reasons, get Disney Plus content. But then they were like, wait a minute, the story we have here would probably just fit better within a movie rather than dragging it out over a six-week period. So they're like, we'll just release it as a movie. I mean, imagine if they took like Thor: Love and Thunder and stretched that out into like 9 episodes. People would hate it by the end of it.
Yeah.
It's better
And
that they
that-
got that a little quick 2-hour movie, like boom. It'll probably be the same thing for Armor Wars, a little
Yeah.
quick 2-hour
Boom, you
movie
looking
that'll
for
set up
us?
some important things, but hopefully it's good.
And
But,
Armor Wars was that supposed to be a show, or was that supposed to be a
Yeah,
movie?
yeah,
Yeah.
it was supposed to be a
That's what
Disney
we're
Plus
talking
show.
about. They're bumping it up to
Okay.
being a movie now.
Okay, so no. I mean not that one. I mean, what's the following one?
Secret
Um,
Invasion?
No,
Yes,
Secret Invasion
like-
is before.
Secret
Before.
Wars. Secret Invasion is a show. Armor Wars was a show. Now it's a movie. Secret Wars is a movie.
Okay. So they're actually doing the sequel after. Okay. No.
Honestly,
Yeah.
though,
Because there's
honest-
like, because I don't
There's
know.
so
I
many
don't know.
Wars.
wars. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
it's gonna be
Yeah,
wild.
there's
Honestly,
a lot
though,
of secrets.
with
I'm
you,
waiting
Secrets
for-
and a lot of wars.
with you,
I'm waiting for Victoria's Secret. So
yeah,
that's the only
but
one
with
I'm
you,
looking
Mr. Joestar,
It'll be
bringing up
She-Hulk.
like all that confusion, it actually got me thinking if they were able to promise us like a good budget and such like that, I wouldn't have been opposed to have Secret Wars be a show so that we actually don't get a only 2.5 hour movie and they could actually tell a huge story and get so many different
They're
9
not
hour
going to do
story.
that, but
Yeah.
they're not going to.
Oh, no, they're not
It'd be
gonna
the
do
most
that.
expensive thing ever.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if they could guarantee that it has same quality, like story
It
and
costs more
budget,
than Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power.
No.
Screw
'Cause,
it,
like,
do it.
You already see the way that, like I said, you already see the way that they're actually treating shows. If anything, it would be so choppy,
Treating them
or
as
if not,
inconsequential.
well, that's
yeah,
what I'm
like,
saying.
if
If
it-
they were
if-
to promise us to do it,
Except
it
for
actually would have been a good story to do as a show. But obviously,
Oh,
the
yeah.
way current shows
Shoulda,
are
coulda,
being
woulda.
done,
and then they,
I'm with y'all. Fuck that. Keep it as a movie. Don't even.
yeah. Because I mean, like, do you see how good their promises are? I mean, Blade, really? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of shit is this? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
how are you just gonna
Hey.
right off the bat, like, what?
At least we're getting Hugh Jackman in Deadpool 3.
Well, yeah,
I
but
mean,
let's
okay,
go
we're
through
gonna go
Blade
into
real
that.
quick.
We're
Yeah,
gonna-
we'll get into that. We'll get into
that's
yeah,
a meat
okay,
and potato.
well,
So let's go with Blade. You mentioned it, Mr. Joestar, and I'll let you go first. But yeah, so normally I personally don't believe many of the rumors that come with like a "where's the source?" Trust me, bro. But
Yeah.
this one actually, I kind of lean into trusting it because I had those same doubts myself. Like they announced it in 2019. Obviously, COVID happened and such like that, but then they just went radio silence. Even throughout COVID, you could still have writers, you could still have this kind of start dropping little tidbits in interviews, but they just did not really talk about it at all up until just a couple months ago when they said, "Oh yeah, by the way, it's coming next year," and everyone freaked out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Wait a second, but we all we have is the main character." And the release date and the name of the movie, and that's about it. So when the director dropped, it was like, oh shit, something's really off. I don't know how this is gonna meet that 2023 deadline. And then that's when the other rumors started kicking in that, again, normally I wouldn't believe, but with everything that, based on the evidence we do have, apparently it seems that it had only a 90-page script with only 2 action sequences, and the lead is very disappointed in how it's being handled as of right now. So
It was
How-
a Blade handles. It was supposed to be a Blade like brings up the girl Blade like they did with Hawkeye and Kate Bishop. It was one of those kind of stories, and they're like,
What kind of shit is
no, it's supposed to be a
that?
Blade movie.
you
Yeah,
can't
exactly.
just drop
It was a
the
90
passing of the...
Fuck.
Yeah,
90-page script with 2 lackluster action scenes,
How-
and it's him mentoring a little mini baby, or not baby, but you know what I mean, like a teenage girl.
why are they turning it into a
Blade,
teenage
Vampire
girl, though?
Hunter.
That makes no sense. How are you going to pass the
Because-
torch? How are you going to pass the
Because,
torch?
yeah,
Yeah,
Is
but
she
even
gonna be
then,
a
Haven't you
vampire
seen-
too?
Haven't you seen Hawkeye and Multiverse of Madness and all
yes,
the other movies?
but those
Ironheart?
made
Like, that's
sense
what-
because Hawkeye kind of reached his arc and he's getting old and he's got to pass that.
No, exactly.
Blade-
That's what I mean.
Blade,
That's
you
why,
can't.
Mahershala Ali's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
shit?
I would've been too. I'm
Let's sign
like-
him for a Blade movie.
Like, I
Oh
thought we
my
were supposed
God.
to franchise this, and you're passing the torch on the first movie.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the starting at the
There
end.
you go. That was the
Oh
turn.
That's
my
more
God.
head ass.
It was
That's
a
more
pa-
like rushed than the fucking Justice League movie. Like,
That'd be like
Oh,
Deadpool
God.
1 being about Deadpool like passing the torch to the next Deadpool. It's like, wait, what?
yeah,
we just got him.
just start the Fox cinematic universe with Logan. That's how it would have been treated apparently. But
Yeah,
And,
what do you
it's
think
just-
about this, Mr. Joestar?
Say what?
The
No, I asked Mr. Joestar, like, how does this bode in your confidence? Well, like, what are your thoughts on all this potential? Again, most of it is rumor, but there is some concerns based on evidence we do have. And what are your thoughts on it?
the Blade, yeah, like definitely. From what I just heard, I didn't actually know that that's what they were going off with. That fucking sucks. Like,
That's why they're rewriting it.
what kind of shit show is that? Like, honestly, that's the whole thing that
Some Batgirl shit.
really.
Yeah, that has
Yeah,
that Disney
seriously,
Plus
that,
stench
like,
on it.
so what? Like, she's gonna be a vampire as well. Like, here's the thing
Oh,
about
God.
it. Like,
And those
He-
directors don't have a movie to work on anymore, and Kevin liked working with them on Miss Marvel, so what if he gives Blade to them as the new directors? Oh no.
oh no.
Oh, no.
no.
Don't do it.
Oh no!
Don't do it.
Don't
No, wait.
don't tell JT. He's gonna start losing his hope all over
Start
again.
If they had a-
But
drop.
yeah, but
Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you dare.
Don't put
Yeah.
that evil on me.
but and then here's the thing though too. Like, are they gonna actually go if they do rewrite it? Like, which aspect would you actually want it to come from? Do you actually want it to be after the 3 movies that have already been put out there, or would it be like all the way from the very beginning to where, like, I mean, he gets turned, and do
Should
we
just
need
do a
another?
Blade series? And each episode
mean,
is
like-
him in a new time period. Jumps ahead every 10 years. Do something like that. That'd be cool. Make it violent.
Doesn't he age though?
No, well, not really. I mean,
'Cause he
he's
was a
supposed to have been
baby.
Yeah, but he doesn't. He's half vampire, so I'm pretty sure. Now the actor will age, of course, but he still looks pretty
yeah.
good for being in his 40s.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you're kind of making it seem like you want it to turn into like a DC Legends of Tomorrow kind of a thing, and that's cool. But at the same time, like, I mean, we really
Well, do you
need like.
think Blade is
how's
going to be like he becomes Blade in the current 2023 timeline of the MCU, or he's been around since like the 1800s? He's been around. That's why he like meets.
Well, that's the
White
aspect that I
Knight
was.
at the end of Eternals. So I'm saying, like, if they did a show where they kind of show him over time, like leading up to whatever current day secret invasion stuff going on, and
Yeah.
tie him in somehow that way. But like, I would be down for that in a show if you had an interesting story that made the show
Wait, but-
justify being a show instead of just being like a rushed movie.
I thought he. When was he actually like coming out to be a vampire though? How old is he? 'Cause now you just made me
probably
doubt
like
that.
100 years. I don't know. What is
Oh, so, like,
100 years or more.
Oh, because like I mean that's the whole thing is just like the only aspect that I got from Blade was from the movies itself from Wesley Snipes, which basically you see him as a baby and you know his mom was turning into a vampire, which he ended up getting some of that into his genes, and then like
Mhm.
that's why he's the Daywalker. But that was still in that era, like I mean we'll just say until the now. So
Yeah, modern era.
yeah, so I don't think it would have been like he would have been like in you know old like enslaved times and stuff like that because that would just like I mean that'd be kind of cool because you would know that he would end up killing like a bunch of like white people, but and be like they were vampires. I'm innocent, but definitely like I really if I were to choose to that to like the storyline, it would definitely be like something that I don't mind like an origin story again, just to kind of bring him into this universe because technically we could still play like the multiverse dice and be like, yeah, that was something else. So there was a Wesley Snipes like Blade, but it was a different universe, kind of like you know Tom Holland and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So we can do that, and I don't mind it to be like a damn like origin story, but to actually just sit there and be like, oh, he's already been around and he's already tired and he's just gonna pass on the torch is the most stupidest shit I've ever heard. But
Yeah, hope not. Hope they don't. Do
yeah,
that.
and
Just cancel that,
that
shit
will
if that's
actually,
the case.
yeah. Because then even then, like if they do bring back like kind of like the thing, like then who would be Frost? You know what I'm saying? Like it's like a bunch of stuff that I definitely would want to see, and especially since they're taking the route of actually being a little bit more gory with this. What was it, that short?
Werewolf by Night.
Yes. So I hope that I get to see a little glimpse of that, and hopes that I actually can be happier about this Blade thing coming out later in the future. But it's like a thing that's just like, how far will they push those buttons? Because definitely Blade is not a rated, PG-13.
He's not a Disney product.
Yeah, he's not, and it's straight up rated R. Like, I mean, it's just blood, guts, and gore. Definitely, like, just ripping apart aliens, vampires. Yes, but I mean, who knows? It's like, I mean, later on, if he's like in secret,
alien vampires.
secret wars and stuff like that. I mean, he's gonna be coming up, like, killing some vampires and some like aliens and shit. So
imagine how badass it would be if they just, instead of a passing of a torch movie, they just have like a what's it called, a timepiece movie with Blade, Werewolf by Night, and Moon Knight in a rated R movie versus like, what is it, Anthony Starr? Is that Homelander? As Dracula and a bunch of vampires.
That'd be great.
Ooh.
But Werewolf
like
by Night, Ghost Rider.
Him play like Frost?
What?
Are you talking about Homelander playing Frost? Or
No,
what are you
No,
talking
Dracula, like main Dracula. Yeah, that was the word on the street.
Yeah,
but
that
like,
would be
imagine like a rated R movie with the Wolf Man and Moon Knight, because those are the ones they've introduced at this point, and just fighting supernatural things. And you could actually have Moon Knight, even if it's not Mark Spector, it's like one of the older ones from before he became Mark Spector became Moon Knight, and just have them just like rated R goodness and do all these characters justice. I'd be down for that.
Marvel's Batman in action. I like it.
I would bet with the Blade movie getting pushed back, though, any casting rumors are probably subject to change between now and the actual production of the.
Oh,
It depends if contracts were signed or not. They were supposed to start filming Blade next month. And he's like, no, this isn't ready to film. Redo it.
Yeah, I don't see that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
I'd rather they push it, though, and make it good than release a shoddy project.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
I agree.
I'd rather them at this point just give Armor Wars its slot, and then me personally, just if they're going through that much trouble and they were gonna do some bullshit ass story like that with that Disney Plus stench, just send Blade to Disney Plus. I don't care. If you're gonna do that stupid story, get it into where it belongs.
Passing of the torch.
Yeah, get it into. As the first movie, that just sounds terrible. I didn't even know that aspect of it. I just knew the other stuff. It just took bad news and made it potentially
I don't know
work.
if that was for sure. That was just rumors here and hearsay.
I wouldn't doubt it.
But it was like multiple sources saying that, so it's like, who knows if they all get their info from the same bullshit, or who knows what. Anyway, it's Tinseltown.
But let's go ahead and move on, because we just reached the 1 hour mark, and we still, although I didn't expect to talk much on She-Hulk, because I heard in the beginning of the episode that once again not a lot happens, but the main scoop we did get last week was, of course,
we were all right.
Deadpool 3.
Oh, Josh! Oh, never mind.
And
We'll get to Josh.
but Deadpool 3 got a release date, and it was September 6th of 2024.
2024.
And they threw the little silly trailer where they made it seem like they got nothing, but then they dropped the bombshell just of Hugh Jackman eating an apple in the background, and we're gonna get Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine. And based on the
Logan be damned
suit that Deadpool's wearing, I do think we're gonna get an X-Force storyline with
yellow Wolverine suit.
No. If anything, if he has a black suit, Deadpool, and it's X-Force, we're gonna get the black and gray Wolverine suit.
Oh,
we're gonna get the yellow suit. I'm telling you.
but you know,
Well, I would
that
hope
one is
for the
one
yellow
with, like,
suit,
the
but
red eyes, though.
yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it?
But I was gonna say,
Yeah, the black and gray with the red eyes. Yeah,
I'd be down if they give
Ooh.
Deadpool 3 the black and gray suit, and then they save mainstay MCU Wolverine for the yellow and blue. But if they give me yellow and blue, I'll fucking take it right now. I don't give a shit.
What I think they should do is they should have a scene where he's wearing like a very comically, like comic book accurate classic blue and yellow with the black tiger stripes. It's like looks like a Halloween costume, and he's just getting fucking ripped to shreds and stabbed and shot and just attacked, so it just gets all torn up and bloodied up. But that would still be kind of fun for the fans to see Hugh Jackman wearing an old school Wolverine
Yeah.
costume that just
Yeah.
gets destroyed in battle.
Then he gets the new one where he's
I'll-
like, "Yeah, we need to get you a new costume," and then
I'll
like he
take it.
gets the fucking badass version of it.
I'll fucking
Oh.
take any version they give me. I'll take it.
Yes,
I'll take
yes,
any
I'll
version.
take it.
I'm
I'll
just
take
glad
it.
that he and
This
Ryan
day
have
for
been-
like a year from now.
this long
man.
feud between the two of them for year after year, and like how I love how many shots he takes at Wolverine in his own two movies, the first two Deadpool movies, and how like the
Mhm.
end of it kind of teased him and Wolverine coming back because of him shooting his old X-Men origin Wolverine self, and then showing like young Hugh Jackman at the very end credit there of Deadpool 2. I was like, okay, yeah, it's definitely gonna happen at some point. And sure enough, they made it official.
Well, I'm just so glad that it survived the Fox and Disney merger.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Yeah,
I felt like we were lucky enough to get Deadpool 3 to begin with, let alone to kind of go where they were potentially hoping to go in, like you said, like they kept teasing, and I'm glad that we're gonna get it as fans. And I don't know, like, does all this announcement and getting a release date, does this make this the most anticipated Marvel movie for 2024 for you guys, or which one is still
hell yeah.
the one?
Oh yeah,
Oh
for you?
yeah,
without a doubt.
definitely.
Hell yeah.
Because they can do anything. It's going to be R-rated. And they can have cameos galore if they want, or they can make it just about Logan and Wade if they want. They can do anything.
Well, that's what
And
I'm
Sean
saying.
Levy is a pretty good director. So
Like
we'll
that-
see what he
that's
I
does.
what
just don't. I just don't want Feige in this shit because guess what? Like we're gonna end up seeing like Logan at the very end of the credits or something like that, and he's like, "Hey, I'm here," and
Yeah.
then we're just like, "What the
Yeah.
fuck? What was that? What was this?"
What was
know.
that?
Get your
Bullshit.
hands off this project.
Yeah.
Honestly, that would
Don't
be a
touch
pretty good
it.
cameo, though, if they actually do bring in Feige and he's
Oh,
about
that
to
would be
like
great.
Disneyfy or MCU jokey the Deadpool 3 movie, and then Deadpool just pulls a gun on him and is like, "Don't do it or I'll shoot." Something outlandish like
I
that.
mean, they could do so many things. There's so
Yeah.
the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
Like, that
And-
needs all freedom it can get.
Yes.
I would say I'm probably at this point even more excited for Deadpool 3 than I am Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty, only because I know like I'll get more excited for those as we get closer.
Well,
and see how everything's
it's more
shaping up.
tangible.
Like this is something we've been wanting as fans for as long as we've been wanting all the three Spider-Mans teaming up and stuff like that. Like the fact we got
Yeah.
that, they'll definitely give us this. And,
Uh,
I don't
but-
know, it'll be pretty cool. However it turns out, it could be shit, but it'll still be fun to see Hugh and Ryan Reynolds on screen together once again.
Again,
All right. So before we move on to
Probably.
She-Hulk, I do want to ask one more question regarding Deadpool. Of course, we got Wolverine, Deadpool, potentially Mark Ruffalo as Hulk, and stuff like that. And then
Hey,
we had
guys.
Krasinski trolling. So
No,
I'm gonna ask one of you guys if you could have like one other Marvel character show up, even if it's not a big role, just a secondary role like the Teenage Warhead, whatever her name was, I forget her name, but like have like a
Negasonic.
yeah, there you go,
Negasonic.
like a somewhat secondary biggish role, but not full blown secondary role. Which other Marvel
Incredible Hulk.
character? Okay, Hulk for
Ooh, I
Mr.
got
Joestar.
one.
I got Hulk for sure.
I think for me it's gonna be X-23 because I think
Oh,
I
okay.
think she was a great addition in Logan, and if she shows up in Deadpool 3 and like her and Logan get to a fist fight about letting her down within, oh, that'd be so cool to watch. And Deadpool just eating popcorn, enjoying all this big fight between X-23 and Logan. That'd be pretty sweet.
Well, but the thing is, it's like I think from like even like the announcement, they actually said that they weren't gonna really touch that part.
Yeah,
Like
it
what
won't have
happened
anything to
in
do with Logan. It'll be its
yeah,
own
yeah,
separate thing.
it'll be in its own separate thing. So like, I mean, who knows? Like it's like a different universe, or the
Yeah.
fact that there's just like a later thing that happened to Logan to end him. You know, like that still happened, but. I mean, if they take since we're doing Quantiverse, multiverse, all that shit, like definitely it could be a possibility. I mean, we could see like an older version of X-22 and like definitely
X-23 as well.
yeah. So like we can hopefully hope for something like that, but from my understanding, like I don't think that's gonna be a thing on this one. But that would be cool. I would love to see something like
Although-
that. That would be pretty fucking sweet.
What about
I'd
you,
love to
Mr.
see,
Oidman?
Chris Evans, Captain America,
Damn it.
turning the Infinity Stones, and he comes across Deadpool.
Well,
'Cause
mine's a little
Chris
bit more.
Evans is gonna cameo at some point. and
My
it's
mine was
really
gonna be actually be Chris Evans, but it wasn't even gonna be Captain America. So the way I would put it is
Oh,
Chris
just Chris
Evans.
Evans.
Chris Evans as himself. Like you know how they had Brad Pitt
Yeah, like
and
in,
Ned
in
in the
Free
second
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
But, like-
yeah.
Like keep teasing it. Like have them recruit like more people on the X Force or whatever, and then you don't know who Chris Evans is. They don't actually. They just keep calling him like Guy or something. Like hey, you come over here. And then when they're doing like a costume fitting, he goes into his
Literally Chris
wardrobe.
Evans.
And you have him hold up like a Cap costume, so you think it's a Captain America, but then on his other hand, he has a Fantastic Four costume, and he's just like, I don't like any of these. And just,
Oh yeah, that would be so
Oh, that was
funny. Oh my god.
Awesome.
That would be good.
Like they make you think he might be Cap. he
Yeah,
might be
and then
Human Torch,
they
it
keep
turns
going
out
back
he's
and
just literally
forth.
Actor Chris Evans.
yeah, and he's like, none of these are my costumes, and he just tosses them aside, and it's just literally Chris Evans.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be. Oh man,
Awesome.
If they put him in Free
The-
Guys, I wouldn't put it past Sean Levy
Yeah.
to put him in this movie somewhere.
the spoofs of these things, like I mean, it's endless. Like,
Yes.
'cause, I mean, he always breaks that third wall. Like, I mean, Deadpool is a big thing about that. I mean, breaking the third wall, like, and just actually making everything all jokey in a good way. So, I mean, yeah, I could definitely see something like that happening. But like, as far as it goes, it would be so funny to actually see him do that. Because I mean, we want to see that again. We want to see Cap again as Captain America, or even as Human Torch, just for shits and giggles.
But what about you, Miss Cap? What's the one character or actor that you would want to see in this movie so that they could do a really good playoff?
Spider-Man.
Ooh,
Which one?
Ooh.
one?
You know what? Any of them, honestly.
Any of them, all of them again.
Hmm. Well, I guess since
Toby.
it's like Sony, yeah. I mean,
Toby
Yeah.
dancing as
Yeah.
emo Parker.
ooh, what if they brought like Miles Morales into it? That would be kind of cool.
Probably stick with X-Men characters, or maybe like an occasional Avenger. I don't think they
Yeah.
would
I-
introduce Miles and Deadpool, but it
Morbius.
would work. Whatever they do, it would work.
Morbius.
So definitely,
I mean, like-
if
No.
Deadpool doesn't say it's
Morbius
Morbin
is
time,
into
the Yo, chat. Imagine like you would get like those reaction audience quote unquote reaction videos when he says it's Morbin time that
dude.
people put on YouTube. What if
people
like
would go nuts.
yeah, what if they actually get Jared Leto to come in just to be able to say that it's Morbin time, and then Deadpool
Or
would
rather,
just
he
be like,
comes
"What the
on
fuck?"
And Deadpool says it to him. I feel like Deadpool would definitely at some point say it's Morbin time, like no matter what the context is. I just
That's
have a
what I'm
feeling
saying,
he'd say
but it's just like this is what gets me so hyped for this movie. I
Yeah.
do like serious stuff, but since now that we have the multiverse and we know this is gonna take place in its own kind of contained thing that they could actually branch out and jump whenever they want to. Just the possibilities are endless, especially with Marvel having all of their rights to their characters and having a good relationship with Sony to use Spider-Man references and such like that. So it's just
Yeah.
it's an open sandbox that we didn't have 10 or so years ago, and it's just
Yeah.
all comes to this, and we could have so much fun with it. It's just
Can I tell you? Can I tell you though? Like, do you know who I really wish? Like, I know I said Hulk, but like, I mean, because I just wanted to see from like the animated like movie from like what they did with like Wolverine and Deadpool. That shit
Wolverine
was
versus
fucking
Hulk.
awesome.
And
Yeah, that shit was
Yeah.
funny. But in all honesty, though, if it has to be X-Men, I would really want, like, they would be my absolute, like, favorite thing to see, would be if they actually did, like, Gambit or Nightcrawler to actually be thrown in there, just to kind of, like,
Okay,
yeah,
that'd be
like, they
Okay.
have to do a mission from, like, and then they need more X-Men, so, like, they actually bring in, like, Nightcrawler or Gambit to just be like, hey, we need your fucking help, and it's like, we need to go inside this place, and you need to teleport us or whatever the hell. Because from my understanding, like, the old Deadpool, like, had a thing where he could teleport, and this one they still haven't, like, introduced that ability for him. Like, he had, like, a little belt that he can actually teleport, and that's how he could sneak around really quickly. But hopefully it would be like one of those things where they actually develop him a little bit more, where it would be like a thing. It's like, you know what, I need one of those. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can, like, teleport into different places, and it would be kind of funny if he had to steal it or something. But I would definitely love that. Gambit or Nightcrawler would be for me.
Definitely Nightcrawler. I'd love Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
What is that noise?
Okay.
But
Sorry, I'll mute
okay.
that.
yeah, and only other thing I could also say, like you're bringing up other X-Men characters, is now that we have like really comic accurate looking and CG has gotten better, we could finally have a better adaptation of Colossus doing tag teams with what's it called, Wolverine, and like doing that
Fastball
cannonball,
special.
yeah, fastball special attack.
Yeah.
So that'd be pretty cool. Or another gag they could do that would be hilarious with Wolverine is if, like, they literally have Deadpool just, like, bring up, like, a cropping tool, or not cropping, a resizing tool, and just making Wolverine, like, 5'3", and just scale down Hugh Jackman for a scene or two, and, like, this is what you're supposed to look like. Or something stupid like that.
Oh God.
But no, but it's really cool stuff. I'm glad we got a release date. I'm glad we got Hugh coming back. So let's I'll pass the torch down to Teenage Blade, aka Mr. Oyman over here, and just let him give us a brief
No, not
rundown.
Not yet.
Oh, not
Not
yet.
yet.
Not yet.
Not me.
Oh
Talking.
man. All right. So let's see who else watched. Miss Cap,
Yes,
give us a.
I will try.
Oh, okay then, JT. Go ahead and give us a brief rundown of what this week's She-Hulk was.
So I will try to give the best Mr. Oyman impression as possible. So in this episode of She-Hulk, it was basically a continuation from
I'm back.
Go
ahead,
last
GT.
week's episode of Jen and Josh was kind of dating, and then she had a one-night stand as Jen, not as She-Hulk. So congrats to Jen as being a human being while they're having sex. So that's kind of cool. And then all of a sudden, like, yes, thank you. And all of a sudden, like, Josh did not respond to a text messages. So we was like, okay, cool. So 3 days has passed since Sunday. And then Jen got a call from Emil's parole officer saying, hey, something's wrong with this, with this,
Inhibitor.
Yes, inhibitor.
Ankle brace thing.
Yeah, ankle bracelet. Thank you very much. And so she goes to his ranch where it's like the mini retreat, and then we see all these interesting people. And then Jen had like a She-Hulk inner self of like, hey, I kind of accept who I am and this and that. And then push comes to shove, close to the end of the episode, we found out that Josh is a dick, as always, in this show.
I told y'all last week.
I agreed. I agreed with you.
Yeah.
I was
told
just
y'all
like, yeah,
last
that's
week.
very
I
obvious.
need to get this out first and foremost,
Yeah.
y'all. I said this last week. I do not trust Josh. I told him. JT was like, no, he's a good guy. I'm like, no guy in the show.
Yeah, this
He's
is
a
She-Hulk.
good guy.
You think there's good guys in She-Hulk? That's so
my
naive.
gosh. And then
This episode shows you there are good guys.
and I was like, oh, okay, look,
Not
he's
Josh's.
he's going
Yeah, not
happy and
Josh,
everything.
The other guys.
Then, like, I paused, had JT pause it, and I was like, this is what's going to happen. Either Josh is going to be kidnapped and she has to get her blood, or he is part of it. And guess what? He is a part of it. He's a part of getting her blood for experiment. I called it last week, and you know what? Yeah, I was right. And
maybe he was just joshing around. Who knows?
He literally had a thing that Hulk. Like,
I wish I had
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, he's a stick like everybody else.
I know. I agreed with you. I was just saying, like, no, I totally saw that coming too. It was one of those things where you could just, it was very obvious. Like I'm saying, man, like with these shows, like they're not really doing a good effort of hiding the secrecy, because especially it's like, oh, Blue, like here's this like nice guy. Oh, I like regular Jen instead of Green Hulk, and it's just like right off the bat, like it's just trying. It was a try hard, like that's the actual thing. He was a try hard from the beginning, trying to just get in, like just to be in her good graces, and that was just so stupid. Because I was like, dude, that's obviously a bad guy. Like, and we all have seen movies aplenty and shows that we know the difference between a good guy and a bad guy. We have our suspicions. I mean, we all have those walls. But definitely with this episode, it was one of those things where I was just like, yeah, kind of knew it. Now, they did introduce like all these other like bad guys that are trying to like work on themselves, like on a rehab center, which is actually pretty cool because like everybody's trying to get along and stuff like that. But one of those things that I was just so disappointed is that I didn't see that frog guy. Because
next week, him and Daredevil.
Oh my god!
This week.
And how many episodes is this?
Yeah, this
supposed
week.
To be?
2 more.
Just this week. With
Frogman is this week.
Frogman, Daredevil's this week, and then Rushed finale is next week.
Rushed finale, yeah.
We don't know if it's going to be rushed. What if they begin the finale on this show?
It's Disney Plus. That's what I was actually going to ask you guys, a panel. I'm not watching it, like I said, but I do want to ask, with this episode being over and we only have 2 episodes left, and one of them obviously is going to be dedicated to having Daredevil be a big part of it. Do you guys think they're in a good position to actually have a good closer? Or do you guys think it's going to happen like the rest of the Disney Plus, or not rest of them? There are a couple that didn't feel so rushed, but like let's say 8 out of 10 Disney Plus shows, the finales have felt really rushed and unfocused. Do you guys feel like this could pull a maneuver and actually finish good, or do you guys have that feeling that it's going to be rushed?
No, it's going to be rushed. It's definitely going to be rushed. There is no lead up to it. All we've seen are like people behind the scenes wanting her blood, but we have no reason why they want her blood. Like there is no build up to to all of this. Maybe like this last week's episode was like, oh, we got her blood. Now we're going to figure out why. But that's like, it took us like 7 episodes to get there. No, it's going to be super rushed.
Yeah. And where did he get that blood? I mean, I thought...
I don't...
How...
They didn't show us. We don't know yet. We'll find out.
Blood
he earned his red wings.
I mean, better not be from a tampon. Like, that's all I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. He earned his red wings, man.
Well, when she turns into She-Hulk, her period stops, so she doesn't really have a period anymore.
No, she has a green period.
How do you know
Gamora and other characters showed me that she has green blood.
You cannot see now Bruce Banner like injured and then he comes Hulk and then he's fine. Same thing with Jen.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily.
But like,
that's
not periods are biological.
She doesn't have a period.
It's not even.
Say in the comics.
Her.
But we don't know how he got the blood. He could have knocked her out or just like injected her when she was sleeping. Maybe she got drunk and fell asleep and he got her blood and boom. Bada boom, bada bang. Now Intelligentsia can make their own Hulk Todd.
No, here in the Screen Crusaders, almost unanimously, except for you, but majority votes, it was She-Hulk period blood. There you go, Mr. Royman. Now it's canon.
Yeah.
You're outvoted.
Oh my god. What happens when she goes through menopause?
Things just got out of
hand.
Let's not go there. Thank you very much.
Yeah, let's not go there.
but still, like, definitely, it was not bad of a. It's not a bad series, honestly. Like, watching them all together all at once, like, it's okay, but
That's what it's meant for, because
yeah,
the way that the story is progressing with each episode, it's like, okay, I have to wait a week just to find out that Josh took her blood, and then another week to find out what the bad guys actually want.
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like it does need to get the ball rolling, but again, this show is supposed to be about Jen, and I
yeah.
personally
Honestly,
have been fine with the way they've been handling it. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's great. It's
no,
just
I
fine.
actually think they
I
should
like
handle
this
it
episode a
in
lot.
similar how we said with Miss Marvel. This should not have been more than like a 2-hour special. Like it actually would have worked more as a little
It's
like
a movie.
yeah, like a special
Make it a
like
movie.
Werewolf by Night, something like
Yeah.
that. Just like a
Mhm.
small little silly thing that doesn't feel like it's because right now the general consensus seems to be it's taking forever to get to almost nowhere, and it's almost kind of overstaying its welcome. Like it's you guys keep saying it's fine and such, but I feel like if you were to have that in a more streamlined 2-hour, 2.5 hour comedy for Disney Plus, I feel like that actually would have
Yeah.
been a lot more tolerable, and I actually could have sat through it the same way I was able to sat through the Eternals. But making it a 5-hour Disney Plus show, I kind of fell off after.
Well, it's 3 hours with how short the episodes are, but yeah,
Oh, that is
still
true.
pretty short.
But I feel like it could have been a little bit more to the point in just a little one like just a one drop movie.
Yeah, one chingasa. I totally get that. I mean, it really should have. It really should have been just like a movie, because I mean, the show itself has like good qualities. Like, yeah, they actually fixed up her CGI, so she looks a little bit better. But at the same time, the storyline itself, it is one to just, if we literally saw it all at one go, like, it would have just been okay. Like, that could have been like a She-Hulk movie. Like, literally all this could have just been in one She-Hulk movie. And then and it didn't even have to go to theaters. It could have just been like a Disney Plus special kind of a thing where it's just its own thing. But definitely, like, what they're doing is just, that shit's just so stupid. And now we're going to have to actually do the same thing with, which one was it? Daredevil?
Yeah, Daredevil's gonna be 18 though. It's gonna be twice as long.
Do you see that? Like, I mean,
Yo,
what
they
kind of
better
shit is that?
they
Like,
better drop like at least 4 episodes the first day, kind of like
Yeah.
they
Well,
did.
maybe at first, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because they've done multiple episodes drops before, and since this one is a lot longer than any, even from the Star Wars side, anything, this is going to be the longest Disney Plus show.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they drop at least 3 episodes, because that long of a story, you need to start off strong.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah, no,
Dead
so
Silent.
I feel like we got everything out of the way. We are reaching almost the 1.5 hour mark, so I think this
Wait,
is a
hold
good.
on. I
Oh,
didn't get
what?
to talk about She-Hulk. Got to see
Then
Man.
go.
We got to see Ellie.
Oh, God.
We got to see the porcupine. The freaking porcupine guy was in this episode. And then, of course, we got Emil Blonsky. He's not, is he actually evil? Is he not? No, I don't think he is. I think he's changed, but we definitely going to see him in Abomination again. I liked how we got to a little bit more out of Jen. Finally reached a little bit of her character arc. It's pretty weak, but I've seen it done way worse and a lot better. But overall, I really like Tatiana Maslany. I'm liking this episode. This fucking episode was great. Bring on episode 8 and 9.
Why are you sounding
Okay.
like you're like taking someone's order through the drive-through? Like, those like drive-through boxes. That's what
Mr.
you
Roboto.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
Arigato, Mr. Roboto.
It's like I want a
Wow,
number
that
2.
That actually goes well.
But yeah, no.
Switch off
Overall,
the
I feel like we kind of covered everything. The exciting news, the rundown on She-Hulk, and I feel like it's a good place to call it a night for this week. So I would like
Yeah.
to go ahead and thank those that stopped by and gave us a listen. I do appreciate you guys coming in. If you did like what you heard, please feel free to hit that subscribe button or that like button. Or heck, even if you don't hit either of those, a simple share out to someone that you know might enjoy Marvel content and just have people talking about it, giving their opinions. Just share it out with them. But other than that, I would like to thank you guys, the panel. Thanks for stopping by, Mr. Johnny Joe Star.
Yeah.
Pleasure to have you all the time, JT. definitely.
I told you guys.
Yeah,
I was on my
no,
best
very
behavior.
zen today, man. Very zen. I'm glad. I'm glad you were here too, Miss Cap, because I feel like you also kept him on a little bit of a leash and got him to calm down.
Jeez.
But glad you were able to stop by as well and voice some of your opinions. Always enjoy to hear what you got to say.
Oh yeah.
And of course, for driving like Ghost Rider from Colorado all the way over here to Texas, I'm glad you were able
Here I am.
to make it, Mr. Oyman. Always bringing so much to this panel and to the podcast. So definitely glad you were able to make it and share your voices on the fantastic most show on Disney Plus right now, She-Hulk.
The
but
most
it-
fantasticest show. It's the most She-Hulkest show.
Yeah, the most
before
show.
we leave, I just want to say I was reading a comic of She-Hulk, and even Dr. Michael Morbius had to save her ass.
Oh, jeez.
Oh God.
She morbed out. He morbed her back to life.
Well, see, it's Morbin time. And with that, we'll leave you to next week, of course, on Marvel Mondays on the Screen Crusaders channel. Every Monday at 7:30 Central. And y'all have a fantastic week.
Bye.
Oh yeah.
You know how much I sacrificed?